I'm live. Hey there. It's me, movie review mom. My virtual assistants are on Christmas vacation. And so I'm doing a live rather than film it and then have them edit it and have you wait forever. But I do have a cold. And so I might be all coffee and today. But I'm having a pretty decent hair day. And so that motivated me to film this. Plus, I don't want you guys to wait very long. So in case you've never been to my YouTube channel, my goal is to save you time and money by giving you the scoop on filmmaking quality and content so you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a particular film. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Part 3 of this very popular franchise is now playing in theaters as well as simultaneously on Fandango at home. The film is rated PG. It's an hour and 49 minutes, which is 10 minutes longer than the first movie that came out, to great reviews. And my overall movie review mom grade is an A minus. I actually really got a kick out of it. And so what I'm going to do is give you an overview in a nutshell. Then I'll point out things I liked, point out things I didn't like. I'll offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about if you watch this with other people, and you should. Funny lines, interesting lines, and then we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like. Okay, I got to check out how my hair is doing on the other monitor. It's falling in my eyes. All right, but before we start into all of that, I wanted to point out some products. I always like to feature some kind of a product that has to do with the movie. And so I wanted to tell you that the filmmakers of the two previous movies in this franchise revealed that they played the Sonic video games in order to get inspiration for all of them, but especially for this one because we have a new character. So, of course, they played the 2001 Sonic Adventure video game. And by the way, you can click down in the description below to get links to both of these. And then the new video game, well, it's not new as in terms of a video game, it came out in 2005, is Shadow the Hedgehog. And that's the new character that we get in this movie. All right, so, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. So, first of all, in a nutshell, I've never played any of these Sonic video games, but all four of my sons did while they were growing up, and they loved it. But I have seen the movies. My favorite one was the first one just because it really did a good job introducing me to who Sonic was and why he is so beloved. I got it finally. Like my kids would be playing Sonic and I'd be doing dishes and laundry and, working and trying to get stuff done. And so I never sat down and played the game or really got to know the characters. And so I really liked that first movie that came out because of that. So in the sequel, we see Sonic reunited with Knuckles and Tails as they face a new adversary, Shadow, a mysterious villain with powers unlike anything that they had ever faced before. Ivo Robotnik lashes out with a new partner, his long lost grandfather, who is hilarious, and mayhem and jokes ensue. So the sequel was directed by Jeff Fowler. Writing credits go to Pat Casey, Josh Miller, and John Whittington. This is a movie that audiences and film critics both agree is a lot of fun for fans, especially of the video games. So I'm going to keep messing with my hair because now it's driving me nuts. Quick tips for parents. There is some profanity in Spanish without subtitles. Now I speak Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish. And so when I heard that, I was like, wait, what? But if your kids don't speak Spanish, they won't be any wiser and know that it's profanity. There is also some crude humor, which kind of surprised me a little bit. People and hedgehogs are in perilous situations throughout almost the entire film. Okay, now I just realized I'm having a cough attack and I have no way to edit that out of my movie review. That's not good. So forgive me. Here, I'll cover my microphone. And I'm turning my head so you don't get the germs. I know you can't get the germs, but actually, going live when I have a cold probably is not a good idea. I was over in Europe during the Christmas markets and it was freezing cold. sorry. And then I got home and took a walk with my son outside and got really cold. And I don't know, with the jet lag, it just turned into a cold. So I'm coughing and sneezing and all of that. But anyway, back to the movie. Okay, so I may have to drink some water. In fact, I'll do that right now. Wow, sorry, I didn't realize going live was going to be so obnoxious. Okay, now if I had had my virtual assistants, they would edit all of that out. The beauty of going live, right? Now, some of the themes that are illustrated very well in the movie are choices, supportive friendships and family, trust, teamwork, revenge, sacrifice, emotional pain, and losing a loved one. Now, no spoilers, by the way. So here's a list of things that I really liked about this movie. First of all, the animation is pretty amazing. The facial expressions and body movements are especially impressive. It's colorful, energetic, and so creative. I love the visual details. It's also really good to see Jim Carrey in something again. He is so talented and funny, yet he left Hollywood for the most part in recent years. He stated that he was considering retiring completely and would only return if, quote, interrupted by a cough, the angels bring some sort of script that's written in gold ink that says to me that it's going to be really important for people to see this, end quote. Now, it's hard for me to believe that this is the movie that was so important for people to see and that qualified for his return to film, but it looked like he was having a complete blast while he was acting in this role. It took him 1.5 years to grow out his hair simply so that Lee Majdoub, his character, could actually shave it off in one of the scenes on set. I adore Keanu Reeves. I mean, who doesn't? Let's be honest. He voices the new character, Shadow the Hedgehog. And he had to research the character because he wanted to create a, quote, faithful version of him, which I think might be a code for he had never played any of the Sonic Hedgehog games, maybe. And so he needed to spend some time checking out this character. So other talented cast members include Ben Schwartz, who voices Sonic and has for all 3 movies, James Marsden, who's been in all 3 movies, Idris Elba, Tika Sumpter, Kristen Ritter, Lee Majdoub, Natasha Rothwell, Adam Pally, Shamar Moore, Colleen O'Shaughnessy. I didn't pronounce that correctly. Shaughnessy. And the adorable young Alila, maybe it's Alila, I don't know. Sorry, Alila/Alila Brown. So there's a cute moment in the movie where we see this short clip from the 1995 movie Casper. My kids absolutely loved that movie when they were growing up, and we watched it a million times. And so that made me perk up. I love it when movies kind of reflect the time. These video games were built, in the early 2000s. So it was kind of fun to see that in there. The movie is very self-aware that it pokes fun at itself constantly. We get to spend a little bit of time in London, England, which is always fun. Surprisingly, this is the very first time a Sonic movie has been released in IMAX worldwide. Fans of the Sonic video game will be very happy with the many inclusions in the movie that reference details in the video games themselves. So keep your eyes open for the Easter eggs. Now, there is plenty of humor, although not all of it lands. Keep watching during the final rolling credits at the end of the movie, well, about midway through the rolling credits, for another scene that sets up Sonic 4 that features Metal Sonic and Amy Rose. People are going to be very excited about that. Now, with all of that praise, there were really just a few things that I didn't like or thought could have been done better. For example, it's helpful for sure to have seen the 2 prior Sonic movies in order to better understand all of these characters, their relationships, and even their motivations. If this is the first Sonic movie you're watching, you might be a little lost, unless you've been a big fan of the video games, and then maybe you can just dive right in. But if you're a parent like me, maybe, and have never played the games, you might be going, wait, who or what's the deal? So if that's the case, watch the first one, then watch the second one, and then I think you'll have a really fun time with this third one. So, viewers who have never played the video games or seen the previous two movies might be even a little bit bored because they haven't fallen in love with any of these characters. There are a lot of characters to keep track of in this movie. So, whenever I watch movies, I instantly think of funny lines that I want to share that I write down, as well as interesting lines. You can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm live. I'm looking because I'm still trying to figure out how to do the whole live thing. And oh, yep, I'm looking to see if anybody's here. So, yes, some people are watching and even giving me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. All right, so I want to share some of these lines with you. Not all of them. Like I said, you can go to the website to watch them. So Knuckles, who's voiced by Idris Elba, has some really cute lines that just made me laugh all of the time. You know, he plays this tough little hedgehog. And so Sonic, who's so enthusiastic about everything, contrasts nicely with Knuckles. And so anyways, Sonic is like, Team Sonic. And then Knuckles says, kind of sarcastically and grumbling, Team Sonic, who picked that name? Which I thought was also kind of cute because obviously there's a whole history on that name and where it comes from and all of that. Another interesting line is when Sonic, he and Sonic are having this conversation, and Sonic again is voiced by Ben Schwartz. I almost said Schwartz because I just spent a couple of weeks in Germany. And by the way, did you know that Schwartz means black in German? Fun fact there. I've been trying to learn German on Duolingo. Anyway, that's one of my tidbits that I learned. Okay, back to the line. And so anyway, Knuckles is having a conversation with Sonic. And again, Sonic is all energetic and perky. And Idris Elba, Knuckles, says to him, he's much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously. And then Sonic says, dude, I'm standing right here. They have a really cute banter throughout the entire film. Another line spoken by Sonic is when he says to somebody, I'm sorry, we already had our big motorcycle chase for the evening. Again, showing you that the film is very self-aware because they're speaking more to the audience than to, the characters themselves. Then here's a cute line spoken by Ivo Robotnik, who's played beautifully by Jim Carrey. And he says, there's something about my personality that renders me undesirable to all possible genders. And that got a big laugh from the audience as well. And then another line, everybody's talking to him and he's trying to figure out stuff. And he says, how, why, and who did what with whom? And I appreciated that he used whom correctly as a university professor who is a kind of a nitpicker on English grammar and spelling. And then another silly line that ran throughout the movie is when Ivo Robotnik says, some crazy thing. And he says, yes, I know French. And then later on, his grandpa shows up and he says something. And then he says to his grandson, yes, I speak French. And I just thought that was cute because last year I was trying to learn French on Duolingo because I was doing some traveling in France. And then another cute line by Sonic is when, they're describing, we got to do this and that and the other thing. And again, I'm being very vague, no spoilers. But Sonic says, once again, can't we just get Tom Cruise to do this? And I thought that was cute. And then Keanu Reeves voices Shadow, and they're having this conversation about revenge. And then there's a conversation about guacamole. And so Keanu Reeves says, revenge guac. Anyway, I love guacamole, so that just made me laugh. All right, there's a bunch more lines, but let me get on to some of the interesting lines. And I've got a bunch of these too. So let's see if I can pick out a few. I don't want this to be, a 30-minute review here. So here's a really good line. This is spoken by James Marsden, his character. And he says, that's the thing about life. It's all about the choices we make. You're going to make some good ones. And knowing you, he's talking to Sonic, you're going to make some bad ones. But as long as you remember to listen to your heart, you're going to make the right choice when it matters the most. Again, emphasizing the theme of choices, accountability, and consequences. A lot of the most important lines come from the humans in the movie. For example, Maddie, who's played by Tika Sumpter, says, remember, make good choices. They're really trying to bang that theme over the kids' heads to make sure they get that this movie's big theme is making good choices. And then let's see. Oh, back to the conversation about revenge. Sonic says there are no winners with revenge as he's learning life's lessons. And then I really like this too. This is Keanu Reeves playing Shadow. And Shadow says, I've been so blinded by rage, I thought I had no choice. And Sonic tells him, you always have a choice. Now, hopefully, that's not a big spoiler, but lessons are learned. Characters have an arc of growth, and that's all good. Now, before we go, let me give you some recommendations for three movies you absolutely should watch. The first is the 1993 TV show Sonic the Hedgehog. And by the way, links to these are also in the description below. That'll take you straight over where you can start watching these. And then Sonic the Hedgehog, the first one, and Sonic the Hedgehog, the second one. As I mentioned, I think it's really helpful to have watched those first two before you watch this third one. But if you've seen both of those, then you can dive straight in. All right, that's it. Thank you for spending time with me live. I really get a kick out of knowing you're there. And one of these days, I'm going to figure out how I can see your comments. That I haven't figured out yet. So I'll watch them. I'll look for them after this video is over. And as you know, if you're a subscriber, I always comment to every single one of your comments because I love hearing what you have to say. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now. All right, then I have to put my glasses on to figure out how to end the stream. There we go. See ya.